This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by super lightweight talent, upcoming contender Dalton Smith. Dalton, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Pleasure to be back on.
It's good to have you back on, mate. Obviously, I was trying to tie in with Sean throughout the week, but we just haven't been able to get something in on the back of your success in Austria. So, firstly, congratulations on another win. Just talk me back through your unanimous decision victory.
Yeah, buzzing another W on the record and new title. So yeah, good fight for me. It's a fight what I needed, and yeah, just keep moving on now.
Talk to me about before. How would you reflect on it now? It seemed like some good, tough rounds for you to get under your belt.
Yeah, it was, and obviously it was a last minute change of opponent for me as well. And watching the other kid and the people he fought, we thought it'd have been the perfect opponent to get the rounds out with. And obviously he was there. I got 10 good rounds out of him, and that was the main thing what I needed and I wanted from that fight was to get the rounds in. I think early in like rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, he started, I was busting him up pretty bad early on in the fight, and then it was a lot more durable than I expected. And I think as the later rounds went, me and my dad said, we just said, look, we'll enjoy it and get the rounds from this fight. And I think I could have just probably stepped it up on the gas a little bit more, but in my head I was wanting to get those rounds out, and that's what we did.
I know there's a lot of hype and a lot of excitement around you, Dalton, especially at such an early stage of your career. But just to get those rounds in now, how important are they for you moving forwards? Just to see how comfortable you was able to do them, more so than anything.
Yeah, I think I've said, the last couple of fights, I needed the rounds, and that's what we did. It's the most I've done is 6 rounds in with the Appleyard fight. So it's all right doing it in the gym, but you need to do it on fight night as well. So it's the main thing what I needed, and that was the rounds.
Talk to me about the plan moving forward then, Dalton. Obviously, success out in Austria. Where do you see kind of the next chapter of your career going with regards to when you want to be back out next to anybody in mind?
Of course, and I want to be pushing towards the British title, next summer. So, but the options for me, there's plenty of options out there. We could defend this WBA belt now. Obviously I'll vacate the English, and we'll see where we move on from there. But I keep saying it, I'm not going to be short for fights in my division. But of course, I want to be pushing towards the British next year. So, whichever path my team thinks best. After.
The British champion currently is Sam Maxwell. What did you make of his win against Akeem Ennis-Brown?
I've still not seen the full fight, and I said before, even I don't really watch that much boxing, and unless it's an opponent I want fighting, then I'll study the fights. I think you were around boxing too much, so I tend to do other things away from training than just boxing. But I'm happy for Sam, British champion now, and got a lot of time and respect for Sam, and he's I came through the Great Britain squad with him, so yeah, I'm happy that he's he got the belt.
Obviously, as you mentioned, you're eyeing up that British title. During the commentary on Friday's show in Austria, obviously there was mentioning Josh Taylor, linking your name to his. I just wanted to get your thoughts on those comments, because certainly it caused a bit of a stir, shall we say, over social media.
Yeah, I seen a few bits on social media and stuff, but that's the commentary. They were, I think everything was compared to Josh Taylor, and obviously I've got a lot of learning to do before I'm fighting Josh Taylor next. And Josh is a fighter who I watch quite often and learn a lot from, and I think he's one of the best fighters we've got. So yeah, but for me it's I've got a lot of learning to do, even domestically. So it's about learning and getting those fights under my belt.
For somebody like yourself, Josh, as you mentioned, Josh is one of the best fighters in the UK. He's in that pound for pound ranking list as well now. You've got him, similar situation as yourself. He was a decorated amateur. He's turned to pro. He's gone on to achieve undisputed status now. He's in your weight as well. So how perfect is it for you to be able to actually learn from him, how he's progressed throughout his career, and picking up little bits and pieces from him?
Of course, it's unbelievable what Josh has done. You know, in the amount of fights what he's had, and you know, for a young fighter like me coming through and learning the trade, you know, what better person to look to in Josh Taylor, and especially being from Great Britain as well. You know, it's unbelievable what he's achieved, and that's what I want to set out to do. You know, later down the line in my career. So, you know, it's all about learning for me.
Just on Josh, to stick to Josh rather, he's got his fight with Jack Catterall coming up in December. What's your take on that fight?
I think it's a very good fight, and you know, I've been asked this before. I've never sparred Josh. I sparred Jack Catterall, and you know, he's a great fighter. You know, technically they're both very good, but I think in that fight, I think the level and the activity of what Josh Taylor's had and the level he's been fighting at, I think, you know, later down the stretch of that fight, I think that's where it'll come into play. But you know, both technically great fighters, and you know, it's going to be a great fight.
Obviously, another fight which is coming up soon, Mikey Garcia and Sandor Martin. I'm sure you'll be tuning into that one, Dalton. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that fight. A bit of a strange one which come out of the blue.
Yeah, it's a strange one as well, and I think, is it a catch weight? I don't think it's a championship belt, is it?
No.
So, but that's the funny thing, because it's, you know, Sandor Martin was pushing towards a world title shot. You know, obviously having the European, and you know, he was probably pushing on towards that world title. So it's a bit strange how he's doing a catch weight.
What do you make of the fight itself?
I think Mikey Garcia is winning that fight. You know, he's another great fighter, and you know, I just think Sandor Martin's just not that level yet. But yeah, it's just funny because he was pushing towards a world title. You know, I thought, you know, it's a bit strange why it's at a catch weight.
Obviously, as well, just want to get an update from yourself if you've spoken to him, not on Sonny. How's Sonny doing? Obviously, rolling his ankle, having to pull out of his fight.
Yeah, it's a shame for him, and you know, seeing the work what he puts in the gym, but that's boxing. You know, I've not managed to catch up with him. You know, obviously I was away when his fight and stuff got cancelled. So, you know, I've spoke to him on the phone. I've not seen him in person yet, but you know, that's boxing. Obviously, not everything goes as smooth as you like it to go. But you know, he's world champion. He's a couple of months, and you know, I'll be back to you know, the good ways.
Obviously, his brother Charlie's recently announced that he's parted ways with, you know, the gym, and he's teamed up with Joe Gallagher. I just want to get your thoughts on that. A lot of success being had between Charlie and your father, and that gym. So what's your take on that?
You know, I still stay in contact with Charlie, and so does my dad. You know, that they move for the personal reasons and stuff. So, but yeah, you know, I still think a lot of Charlie, and I hope he goes on and does well. And you know, moving to Gallagher, I think it's a great move. And you know, Joe's got a lot of experience, and you know, if Charlie's chasing that second world title, you know, there's no better person to do it than with Joe.
And then finally, Dalton, obviously AJ Usyk next week. I'm sure you'll be tuning into that one, even though you don't like to watch much boxing away from yourself or anybody.
No, I'll be tuning. I tune into the big ones.
That's it. You sound like a casual, mate.
Listen, that's exactly why I'm a casual.
Dalton, just to kind of get your thoughts on it, is a fight which a lot of people are looking forward to. How do you expect it to play out?
I think another great fight, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how, you know, Joshua deals with the boxing ability from Usyk. You know, he's not really had to deal with that yet, and the lightness and the speed of him. So yeah, but I do think it'll be an AJ win, possibly points or late stoppage. But you know, it'd be interesting to see, you know, what Usyk brings.
All right, Dalton, we'll leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day, and of course the weekend, which is upon us. So I appreciate your time, mate. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Appreciate that, Andy. Thank you.